Hey guys, so today's all about boxing fundamentals, okay? Now, before we go any further, let me just point out that a lot of people hear the word fundamentals and basics and they think that, this is something you do when you're a beginner and then later on you go to more advanced stuff and things. The fundamentals, the basics, is also the advanced stuff because you work on it forever, okay? From the first day you do it until the last day, these are always things that you work on. All right, just want to explain that concept. Okay, so people also say when we get into the good stuff, the basics is the good stuff. So okay, all right. So let's start with a stance. All right. Now, what you want to do is you want to have your feet probably about 18 inches wide or so. A good way to find it is well, this comes from Wing Chun, but we open up our feet and then open up like that. So essentially, it's the same stance, very similar stance to Wing Chun actually. Okay, hence the reason why the British called it Chinese boxing way back. Okay, so you get your stance there. All right, feet at 10 and 2. Okay, all right, elbows in and tight, hands up, chin down. All right, you don't want to lower that. Okay, hands up, chin down. Okay, and also sit on your rear leg a little bit. Okay, you're not like don't have all your weight on, but your center's in your rear leg. So if you're centered, your head is generally over your groin, and that way you can move easily. Okay, if your head's over the groin. Okay, like that. All right. And so that's the basic stance. And the other thing too is make sure you're very relaxed. Okay, don't be too tense, because when you're too tense, you don't have the natural movement. There's kind of a flow to boxing and martial arts, and if you're too tense, you won't have that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is the first basic step we're gonna do. Now we have our stance. We're gonna move our stance around now. Okay, so first basic step is gonna be the box step, which is working the forward, backwards, and side steps. So I'm gonna go forward. There we go. See, so there's a natural body movement. See how I sway a little bit? And I'm pushing off with the opposite leg. See, this leg pushes me forward, then this leg pushed me forward, then this leg pushed me back and push me back. See, the opposite leg is moving you forward, see? It's better than just stepping and dragging, okay? I'm pushing off. Because I might use this to get away, maybe. Maybe I can use it to get away, but I can also use it to attack, okay? Next up we have the double box step, okay? Same thing, only we're doing it twice, okay? So we go here, round, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. See? 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, well, wish I had my access to a gym, but right now, quarantine, this is all we have, okay? All right, now next up, we have the pivots. Okay, now with a pivot, you need to load your foot a bit in order to go to each direction. So if I'm gonna go this way, I'm gonna load the foot and here, okay? Load the foot and here. Now, one thing, it's really a common problem where people will pivot and the weight will still be all there on the lead leg. So one way to kind of police yourself and check that is as you pivot, step, pivot, step. See, you have to make sure that you can step without having to reset yourself. Okay? Real important. So, because then in boxing, there's kind of a flow of things where if I pivot, I might immediately fire back with shots or whatever, pivot here, that's the thing. But if you're off balance, too much weight on the lead or too much weight on the back leg, it can make it a little difficult, Your stance will very rarely be completely 50-50. It's changing all the time, but you don't want it to be excessive, okay, on one leg or the other, or else you will limit your direction in your movement in one direction, okay? So the box step, the double box step, and the pivot, okay? Now next up, we're gonna have our punches, all right? Excuse me. So with the jab, okay, we're going to cover 4 basic punches today. Okay? We're going to cover the jab, the straight right, and the left and right hook, okay? Now with the jab, this is kind of a personal thing. You'll have to experiment, okay? Me personally, I throw jabs with a vertical fist, okay? Vertical fist. That's the way, okay? But a lot of people also turn it over as well. But regardless of the one you use, the elbow must stay down until the end when you flip it, okay? Don't do this crap, because if you do this, all the power is gone and you just turn it into an arm punch. If you want to use your legs and your hips and your whole body, you have to keep that elbow down, right? Or if you flip it, see, it comes out at the last second, boom. Last second here, boom, okay? And as you step, the weight will shift to your lead leg a bit, boom, okay? Boom, all right? So, you have to experiment. Jack Dempsey was in favor of using a vertical fist. Mexican boxers like to use vertical fists. Wing Chun guys do, but a lot of most boxers actually turn it over. Okay, so you'll have to see which one works. They both actually work, but you'll have to experiment. Okay, so to train it, there's a few ways to train it. You can either go straight, and we call walk the floor, or you can pivot. So if you're going straight, just go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, without a step, without a punch. So 1, so 1, okay? Or turn it over, okay? The other way is to use a pivot, and this applies to all the punches. So if I pivot, I'm gonna go 1, pivot, okay? Or 1, pivot. So typically we'll go around like a claw. So we'll go 1, here, 1, 1, 1, okay? And then you go the opposite way too, see? Because each way, each direction you turn it has a slightly different feel. If I turn this way, my weight is a little bit on this leg already, so I can turn that way. If I go that way, I might slip a little bit, or come, so each one's a little different. But for now, just do it straight, okay? Next up, we have the right hand. Now, the right hand is more of a rotational punch. It can be done with a step, but generally speaking, it's a rotational punch because it follows, more often than not, it follows a jab or the hook maybe, okay? I mean, there's all kinds of combinations, okay? But basically, you're using your foot and you're turning. You see, if I don't turn, my hand won't actually reach there. I have to turn, okay? Okay? And it helps to, we call squish the bug. You want to rotate and drive that foot into the ground there, okay? The bang, okay? You want to drive it. You want to make yourself shorter, kind of. Okay, here. Okay, so same thing. Okay? With all punches, remember, it has to come right back to guard. Okay? Don't do this. Okay? Some people call it grabbing the apple to bring it home. You see an apple sitting on a ledge somewhere, and you gotta punch and bring it back to eat it. Okay? Okay? You don't bring it back to eat it, it doesn't count, okay? Grab the apple, bring it back. Bring it back. Same thing with other punches, okay? Which brings us now to the hook, okay? Hooks can be a little bit of a tricky punch to learn, okay? But it's all about the rotation of the body, okay? So here, see, I'm actually, my weight is a little loaded on the lead leg, not excessively. You don't want to give yourself away, okay? It's a little bit, and that rear foot almost stomps down as this foot comes up. And at the same time, I turn. So I'm whipping this shoulder back, okay? Some people punch with a fist this way or this way, whatever. They're actually both correct. I tend to punch something in the middle, so I'm here like something like that maybe, I guess, here. But I try to use my elbow, my whole body, and I keep my elbow a little down so I can take advantage of that. I found if it's too high, it can strain your shoulder a lot. Okay, so here is bang, and bang, and that seems to, and okay, and okay, so here we go. Okay, and now with the right hook, same thing. Okay, obviously these are close range techniques. I mean, if some guy's this far away from me, I'm not gonna, give him a hook, or going for a long hook is suicide because you're opening yourself up. These are close range techniques, so that's why we have the right hook. Okay. Also, we have uppercuts too, and it's a kind of a similar motion, but I'm instead of going rotational this way, it's an upward surge. So it's almost like my hips and elbows are joined together. See, it's like one can't move without the other. See this, and there's a rotation too. See this upward surge. Okay, that's what the Dempsey called it too, the upward surge. Okay, all right. So that brings us now to defensive movements. Okay, so we have body. There's two basic ways of defense. You have body movement, and then you've got like hand blocks and parries. Okay, but regardless though, they all require some body movement anyway. Okay, you never just move your arm by itself. You always have the body power behind it. Okay, just so you know. Okay, so for slipping, we have the basic slipping. This is just a small slip, just enough to avoid the shot, just enough. Okay, all right, and there's a lot of trunk motion here. Okay, and remember with the slipping, just like the punching, with all drills actually, you can use it in that pivot circuit there. Okay, so if I go 1, 2, I'll pivot. I go 1, 2, I'll pivot, and so on and so on. Or I go the other way. I go 1, 2, pivot. 1, 2, pivot. Okay, the basic slip. Then you have a forward slip. A forward slip here, going forward a bit more. Still use the trunk a lot, and the leg, trunk and legs. Okay, if I go forward, it puts me in a good position because I'm loaded here. Puts me in a good position to do a shovel hook maybe, or do a hook maybe, or something. Right? Same thing on this side. Okay, forward. Okay, forward. All right. Now next up we have the east side, west side. This is rotational, and just east to west. Okay. So now this one's a bit more in the legs, and really rotating the body, almost like a Russian twist type motion. Okay, but here, see. See, so rotation, see, rotate, see, okay, rotate, and then you can turn, and remember you can step, right? Okay. So, and all of these are good for counterpunching. Always think, don't ever think of just defense by itself. Think about what you're going to do after that. Okay, there's a certain flow in boxing where, suppose I do this slip here, right? I immediately want to come back with something. I don't just want to sit here and go, oh look, I missed the shot. No, you better think ahead for your next move. Okay, you better think about that. Okay, all right. Okay, next up we have windshield wipers and head pops. Now, anyone who's seen Mike Tyson knows what windshield wipers are. Okay, but here, just side to side. Okay, this movement is a little more, but the thing about the windshield wiper is it can be confusing for one thing for the opponent, and it can be good for setting you up for other shots and things. Okay, that's a thing. So typically one is that when people do a combo, you will typically slip to the side you just punched on. So let's say I'm doing a 1-2, I might slip here 1-2, slip 1-2, slip. It works pretty well. And the last one, and this one is very useful, it's called head pops. These are just small movements, constant motions. It's not really a body movement, it's just really just a small head movement, chin movement, whatever. Just a little bit. Your body's a little bit, but the thing is that, and you can experiment with different numbers. People always try to find patterns and rhythms. Don't let them find it. Okay, if you're always doing 3 head pops, hit, 3 head pops, hit, you'll be too predictable. Maybe you do 1, and then still, or maybe do 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, whatever, right? You have to mix it up, break the rhythm, and that goes for punching too. If you're always punching 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, no, you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's how you break the rhythm. That's how you keep the opponent guessing. All right. Okay, now we're gonna get to the weaves. You know, I know we're covering a lot of material here. Okay, but just rewind it and go back and look at it again and whatever. Okay. So now we're going into the weaves. Now the first one is the bob, also known as a duck, and this one you're just dropping down, dropping down, dropping down. Okay, dropping down. Okay, do not do this. Okay, with no bending the legs and just bending the waist. Don't do that, because you're opening yourself up right up into this. Okay. See, eyes on your opponent all the time. I come down here like an elevator. See, but the good thing about this is that when you look at compression and expansion, this is a key concept in not only boxing but any martial art. Okay, so if I have just done a bob, I can easily come forward with an attack. I compress, I explode. See, I compress, I explode. Compress, explode. See? And if you look at qigong things, there's a lot of compression expansion. Like here's a typical qigong. I compress. See, you have that expression, expansion, compression, expansion. Okay, all right. Okay, next up we have the weaves or the rolls. Sometimes called the rolls here. Okay. Now what you're doing here is you're drawing a horseshoe. Okay, and one good way is to try to bring your elbows towards your knees as you do it. Again, we don't want to bend forward. We want to see. It's like the bob, only you're doing a horseshoe now. It's a circular motion. So say someone's swinging at you, coming this way, right? I would kind of go with it, and then from there, I'm in his armpit, and then I can attack him, okay? And same thing the other way, all right? Okay? Okay, and once again, I know I keep saying it, but remember, this can be worked with the pivot, okay? So 1, 2, okay? Now when you're doing, and the next move is called the drop and roll, okay? Drop and roll, which is that, right? You're doing the rolling, you're gonna roll. So when you're doing the drop and roll, or slip and pivot, anytime you move off the line, you have to move in that direction. I mean, if I do this and suddenly I try and suddenly come back this way, here and then, I mean, it just isn't gonna work, right? I'm gonna go right into the shot, okay, which is really dumb, okay? So here, I miss, and now I'm in a position to attack, okay? All right, and one good, well, hold on, I'm just gonna move you over here for a second. Here we go. Can you see me? Okay. One good training tool you can use, you don't have to get one of these, but if you have just a pole sticking out or something like that, okay, one thing that you're able to do, one thing you're able to do is you can use this to pretend it's a line of attack, right? I get off the line, right? I get off the line. See? Because right here, I know, and you use the trunk to see if you're getting close to the opponent. I'm not going to go this way and get further away from the opponent. No, that's not good. Now I can hit. I'm in range to hit, right? I slip and in range to hit, okay? Or other way too, right? But remember, you need to be in range to actually have a counter. Remember, always think of your next move, okay? We'll get back to that in a second, all right? Just wanna, okay. So we had the drop and, sorry. All right. So we had the bob, the weave, the drop and roll. Next up we have the roll in, roll out, and the bulldogs. Okay, so roll in, roll out is I'm I'm doing the weave, but I'm stepping and stepping back. See, stepping back, stepping back, step in, step out, step in, step out, step in, step out, step in. See, and one good thing is that this kind of can load your weight or something for your own attack, because one thing which I've seen done before and it works quite well. I think Floyd Patterson did this actually, where he would do the step in under the shot, do a step in, and then after he's there, he here, see how you kind of, the momentum's already going that way. So see, so you roll in, so it's kind of tricky to do it slowly, okay? But you roll in as you step, and then this foot comes up, and then you hit. You know, I think it's called a gazelle punch. Okay, I'm not quite sure about that, okay? So roll in, roll out, okay? And then, before we get to the blocks and parries and catches, we're gonna talk about the bulldogs. This is actually a very useful thing in Bagua, Chinese martial arts. We practice low walking. We walk very low like that, and we come in here very low. Bulldogs is kind of the same thing as the boxing equivalent of that, where you're in your stance nice and low, right? And you're just here and low, and you know you're it's like you're a tank. You drop your center of gravity way down, and you can cover a lot of ground that way. And basically, you're not giving him a chance to breathe. People tend to want to reset themselves, you know, so they can punch and plant themselves. You do this, you keep pressing them. You're not giving them a chance to set themselves and plant. You know, you're just keeping them off balance the whole time. You just keep on them, you're pressing, you're pressing, you're pressing, you're pressing. You just keep on. You can cover a lot of ground that way. If I walk normally, okay, it's a regular walk, okay, all right. See how long it took. But if I do this, I can go. See, and it can change directions too. Okay. Usually in boxing, you stay in one lead, either orthodox or southpaw. But you know, it's also possible where you could come here and do both sides and just, you know, just use it to just you know, offset them. The other thing too is that it's kind of intimidating, because you know, you see some guy coming at you like that, and he's like here, and he's, you know, and he's you see him coming at you, and you're backing up like it's like you're getting away from some kind of beast. You know, you're going oh, right? And remember, the guy going forward always has the advantage over the guy going backwards. Okay, I shouldn't say always, but you know, 9 times out of 10, that's the way it's going to be. All right. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is coming up to blocks first, and then we're going to do catches and parries. Okay. Okay. So the side head block. See, it's only a little movement. This works against hooks, straight rights. Okay. You know, any kind of punch. You know, one rule about blocking and punching and catching and all these things and parrying, okay, one rule is don't move too much. Don't have big exaggerated motions. Okay, if you have the kind of thing where you're trying to meet a punch like that and do this really grand motion, it's not going to work. Okay, just a little motion here. Your hand's already up here. Just a little motion. That's all it takes. And notice I'm using the body too, not only my arms, but the body too. I'm not just doing this. Right? I'm here because remember what we said before about how the flow in boxing, you have to load your I shouldn't say how to load, but if your weight, you're not intentionally loading, I guess I should say that, but if your weight is a bit more on the lead leg, it sets you up, okay, for this. Okay, I mean, you know, it technically is called loading, but just don't make it obvious. Don't make it excessive. Otherwise, you give yourself away. Okay, you don't want to ever do that. Okay, the small motion here. So if I'm here, I compressed, I missed a shot here, all right, and then I can come back. Okay, okay, that's the basic head block. Another one is the front block. Now this is one of those things where it might not work that well if you're not wearing gloves. Okay, if it's a bare knuckle fighting, it might not work that well, but with gloves it does work. Some people call it cover the bullet, where the hand just comes up here, just right up. It's not a catch, but you're just catching it right here. Okay, that kind of thing, just here. Now in Wing Chun, this is something that's called Zhong Sao, where it comes right up here, but then it's kind of going on a cutting angle. This is just a little, it's very similar, but a little bit different. Again, not too much motion, okay? Not too much. Okay, and then now I'm going to come over here. Excuse me. We're going to use the dummy again, all right? Yeah, okay. Now the other one before we get to this is also the elbow block. So what you do here is you can here. If someone's doing like body hooks to you, okay, this can kind of, and again, there's a natural motion. This, you see why you want to keep your elbows in? Right there. Oh, here it's not going to work. You have to keep me in all the time. So see, it's easy, and there's a compression. Okay, so you see. So once again, there's the flow. See, because no matter what, your weight's always going to be on one leg or the other, more than one leg or the other. Okay, not completely. Okay, here. Then we also have rotation. This is almost like the east side west side slip, but a little different. You're just trying to bat those punches away, like straight punches to the body, trying to get it away. Okay, and again, there's a flow for the counters. Okay, all right. Now, see me here. Okay. Here we go. Now this stuff here, blocks and parries and things like that, this is kind of the specialty of Wing Chun, but they do it in boxing as well, okay? So for uppercut, generally speaking, if here, it comes down a little bit. Now some people have the elbow out like that. We call this gum sao, okay? Or this is called jum sao, when the elbow's a little lower, okay? I kind of prefer this because sometimes it can be almost like a punch by itself to break a structure, and then I can come right up with a shot. But you know, you'll have to call it, right? So sometimes you can do here and other hand punch, or it can be even the same one right away. Okay, but basically the uppercut's coming in downward. Whether it's this way or this way, it's a downward. Okay. That's what I was doing. Remember, not much motion. We're only looking at a little bit. It's not a huge motion here, okay? All right, and now we're gonna have the catches and parries, okay? Now, okay, I only have a few more things, okay? So the catch, I'm just catching. See, right on the end here. I'm just catching it, just coming out a little bit. Once again, I'm not going that. I'm just a little bit. See, I can catch and punch right away. See, I can catch and punch right away, or parry. I can also parry. Again, small motion. We call this pak sao in Wing Chun. In training in Wing Chun, when we do it this way, just to get a feeling. In application, it's small motions, small movements. Okay, at the same time. Or the same hand, or whatever, it's small motions, okay? All right, and the other one too, and this can sometimes work. It's a parry and a redirect, okay? And in Wing Chun, it's called a Hyun Sao, circling hand, but it's like the parry and just a little circling away. See, again, a small motion. Just like you're pawing it, kind of, right? Like you're a cat, right? Boom, boom. Okay, and those are your basic ways of catching and parrying. All right. Okay, so I know we covered a lot of material here. Okay, we're just gonna do a quick recap in a second. But these are the basic skills to work on. It'll take you a while, of course, to make it natural and things, but you got to really take the time and look at this stuff and analyze it. And it takes years to really master this stuff. To any martial art, it's like any other martial art. Okay, it takes years to really master and make it a part of you, but that's the goal. Okay, so remember the stance. Okay, sitting on your rear leg. Okay, feet at 10 and 2. Okay, hands up, chin down. Okay, elbows in tight. Okay, for defense. All right. The punching. Okay, we have the straights and the hooks. We didn't really do too much of the uppercuts today, but that's also a part of it too, of course, right? And there's variations too, but we'll get to that later. Okay, like there's shovel hooks and body hooks and body jabs and things like that, but we'll get to that later. Okay. Okay, and remember, you can train all these drills by either going in a straight line, walking the floor, we call it, or the pivoting. The pivoting is very good. Make sure you spend a lot of time doing pivoting, because the pivoting is kind of inherent in all the footwork when you think about it. Okay, and it's good also to get you to different angles. Remember, because in our style of boxing, we believe that when you're not hitting, you're moving. Okay. You do a combo, whatever it is. You don't just sit there. You move right away. You move right away. You move right away. Right? That's a thing. You can't just stay there, because your opponent is not a dummy. Is not a punching bag. Okay, he's not like this dude over here. Okay, he's gonna be moving. He's gonna be attacking. Okay, you have to allow for that. All right. Okay, we covered the various slips, the body movements. Okay, and we covered the various weaving techniques, the bulldog walk, okay? And then we covered the various blocks and the catches and parries. Remember, with the blocks and catches and parries, you're only moving a little bit, okay? Do not try and bring your arm out really far, because if, remember, if you do that, and suppose it doesn't work out properly, okay, you're going to be in a bad position, all right? Your arm's going to be extended. You're going to leave something open, okay? If you're here, you're only moving a little bit. Let's say you miss it. You're not out of position. It's okay. You always have to allow that things will screw up, okay? No one's perfect. You will make mistakes. Things will happen, okay? And when you're fighting and there's adrenaline and things, you try and stay as relaxed as possible. Try to, but you're bound to get a little freaked out. It's normal. It's human emotion. We've all done it, okay? But the more you work on these drills, the more you make it a part of you, the more of that is going to carry over into an actual sparring match or a fight, okay? So anyways, okay, so I hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions about this, and I'll see you guys soon, okay?